What's up, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am host, Matt the Misfit, and this is your Monday Night Raw review for February the 6th, 2023. We are on the road to WrestleMania. Our next stop is the Elimination Chamber 1 week from Saturday night. But before we get to there, I want to give you some plugs here while I do that. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts, and also right here on YouTube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Like the video, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, all that stuff. Follow the social medias @Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, and Misfit Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, and all that jazz. Monday Night Raw was actually a really good show. A solid show, I would say. A lot of progression, more matches announced for Elimination Chamber. One that hasn't actually been officially announced. There's also a rumored match taking place. The Elimination Chamber matches have been filled. We know who everyone's going to be in. We have a mixed tag match that is announced for the show. We also have a match that was sort of announced for tonight. But they're going to do a contract signing for that next week. We had an incredible promo between Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman. But Raw kicked off with Edge and Beth Phoenix calling out the Judgment Day. They came out here basically putting themselves over about how many times they've had comebacks, whatever. And they were talking about basically what happened at Extreme Rules. This program is still going on for some reason. Judgment Day comes out. They start talking all this nonsense and stuff. Rhea Ripley's not there. She is apparently in New Zealand or Australia. She's in Australia. I don't know what she's doing in Australia, but I think she's on a vacation or something or other. Anyways, she wasn't there this week. So basically, the challenge is laid down. Finn Balor accepts the mixed tag match between Edge and Beth Phoenix taking on Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. Damian Priest is excited for Money in the Bank already, and we haven't got there, but he saved himself in the promo. They go after the Hall of Famers, kind of saying, you might not even make it to Montreal or whatnot. I mean, they probably could. I mean, I think they live in Montreal. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyways, so there was that. Excuse me, my throat is kind of bothering me here, so I'm going to try to do my best here on this review. Apologies in advance. So, Angel Dawkins comes out because he's got a match next with Damian Priest. When they come back to commercial, Adam Pearce basically gets rid of everybody else from the ring apron, ringside, and all that stuff. Matches are all right, nothing special. Damian Priest hits South of the Heaven for the win. He's heading into the Elimination Chamber. So there is that. Final little match. Damian Priest made the last sense to go into that there. Then we go back with Maximum Male Models, who are officially on Monday Night Raw. That was confirmed by Fightful and PW Insider. Also, PW Insider broke the story that Los Lotharios has also been moved to Monday Night Raw. They were not on the show, but they have been moved to Raw. I think they faced. They were either they were on main event or something another. Anyways, Chelsea Green wants to ask for the manager again. Okay, she's still doing this Karen gimmick, which is great. It's actually I'm enjoying it. She requests a match for the night because she was upset that she was not in the Elimination Chamber match, and basically their match is sort of set for a little bit later. We got a video package of what happened on SmackDown. I didn't get to talk about that, but that was a great closing segment. Triple H's plan for WrestleMania still the same. It's not. Sami Zayn is not going to be added to the main event WrestleMania, and I'll get to that whole thing once I get to the Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman segment. Loomis defeated Baron Corbin. This is a nothing match. Loomis hits him with a choke slam. For some reason, Johnny Gargano is still out there. Oh my God, Tommaso Ciampa needs to come back quickly. We go backstage. Becky Lynch, talking about her steel cage match, says that she's got another card up her sleeve against Bayley. And she's gonna maybe play it tonight. And it says Bayley made a fatal mistake by mentioning her family and all that stuff. So that should be good. Brock Lesnar, comes out. He talks about Bobby who, basically challenges Bobby Lashley. Oh, he says he got a contract for a match at the Elimination Chamber, against Bobby Lashley. Lashley comes out. He says, "I'll have my lawyers and all this crap look at it." As Lashley starts walking off, he gets F5 for his troubles. Not once, but twice. Cowboy Brock is great. So there's that. Then we go to Candice LeRae, who's backstage, getting ready for her match, or Fatal 4-Way match. Gargano and Loomis comes up. Says that Gargano says that Loomis drew a picture of to wish her good luck. Shows her the drawing. Says she's touched by the drawing, but notices the woman and asks if that's Nikki Cross. Loomis takes a notice of the looking Cross. Nikki Cross is stalking Candice LeRae. She asks what Nikki is doing there, or she asks Nikki what she's doing there. And Cross just laughs and run off. So they're clearly setting up something with Candice LeRae and Nikki Cross following the Elimination Chamber. I think after the Elimination Chamber is when we are going to see the return of Sanity, and it's going to set up something probably at WrestleMania with, because here I thought about this, and if Johnny Gargano does not win the Elimination Chamber, which I don't think he's going to, I think it's going to go to Bronson Reed. And I'll talk about my predictions for the card is pretty much set in stone at this point. But what I can see happening is you kind of got you got three, and you're probably going to have a fourth depending on who's going to join. It's probably going to be Dexter Loomis, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and a fourth person taking on Eric Young, Nikki Cross, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf. That's my prediction for possibly WrestleMania. Because I just cannot see Triple H having WrestleMania without Johnny Gargano on the show in some way, shape, or form. So there's that. Next up, we had a fine Fatal 4-Way match. Carmella defeats Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, and Piper Niven. This is Piper Niven's first match as Piper Niven on the main roster, which made me very excited. He is so much better off. I'm so glad Triple H brought Doudrop back as Piper Niven, and she's just like she was in NXT, and I loved it. I loved it. Candice looked great. Yim looked great. Carmella, not so much. Who cares about that? But Niven hit Candice LeRae with a cannonball, and Carmella basically swoops in and takes the win for herself. And then we go to I'm going to bring this part up here now. And then after that match, we see Piper Niven confront Candice LeRae backstage, says that she's going to WrestleMania 39. Mia Yim interferes and says, warns Niven that to stay back. Piper Niven then warns that if either one of them gets in between her and becoming Raw Women's Champion, she will stop at nothing to take him out. So I thought that was very effective. And I'm just happy to see Piper Niven go back to what she was doing in NXT UK. That's great stuff. We had Baron Corbin get buried by JBL on live television. This was great. Corbin gets told off that You're changing channel changing material. Uh, he doesn't belong anywhere near me. And you can't polish. He basically calls him a piece of shit. And it was great. I don't usually agree with JBL with a lot of things because he blocked me on Twitter, but this was funny. He basically said what everyone else thinks about Baron Corbin, and it was great. What was also great, because while this was going on, in the background, we had MVP talking to Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, who ended up getting a win over Alpha Academy. It looks like they're still teasing that reunion of the Hurt Business. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe by WrestleMania or even after WrestleMania, we'll get the Hurt Business back together, and they get a win over Alpha Academy. A rare win over Alpha. Well, no, that's not true. A rare win for Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Kathy Kelly's backstage, and the Miz she comes up to Miz, who's outside Adam Pearce's office. Kelly asks his reaction to Rick Boogs' debut or return last week. It says that he wants to. He basically was just unhappy with everything that happened last week. Rick Boogs comes out of the offices, Adam Pearce's offices, and he asks, well, "How you get an appointment with Pierce before I did?" He basically calls calls Pierce terrible at his job and shit like that, and so Adam Pearce is like, what, listening, and said, "Oh, please continue. Tell me how you really feel." And so next we're gonna have this match again for some fucking reason. Whatever. Chelsea Green walks in and says, "I'm going into another ring. You better have me an opponent, or I'm going to talk to your manager." Basically, Triple H. And I mean, me knowing that I read the spoilers for the show or the role plays, I'm like, oh, yeah, she's gonna die. So she goes to the ring, and she's getting all cocky and stuff. And then Asuka's music hits, and her demeanor changes immediately. Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick are laughing their asses off. Asuka just murders poor Chelsea Green, not before Chelsea Green is showing off to the other members of the Elimination Chamber match for the Women's Championship, or for the right to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Asuka locks on the modified armbar, and Green taps out. So that was great to see. After the match, Bianca Belair comes out, heads to the mic. She basically tells everybody, "Good luck. May the best woman win. And I look forward to facing either one of you at WrestleMania 39. Please tell me that it has to be Asuka. There's no one else at this point in time." And then we got my favorite segment on the show. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, comes out. He talks about what he said last week, but now there's a little U-turn in his stop to WrestleMania. Roman Reigns will be defending his championship, of the titles. He put it very plainly, said the titles, against Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber. And fans started chanting Sami. He said it looks more and more like he will be facing Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, and wishes both men the best of luck. He basically put over Sami Zayn, and said, if he wins, I look forward to facing him at WrestleMania. So that hopefully puts a rest to the whole, oh, they're gonna boo Cody Rhodes. Fans want Sami Zayn more than Cody Rhodes. They're not gonna care about Cody Rhodes. That was put to bed tonight. And I'll tell you why. And I agree with Solomon Mantra. He said, the other way this is going to ruin Cody Rhodes and kill the momentum of Cody Rhodes and kill the whole thing with Cody is if you actually put him in the ring if you add Sami Zayn to this entire thing, that right there ruins what they're trying to do with Cody Rhodes. You've already immediately killed whatever you had planned for Cody Rhodes, because you can't do that. So Paul Heyman comes out, It's getting there. To my favorite part of the segment. He says that he said the Rhodes family. No, he says Cody will one day find out. Uh, given that he's at the top of the industry, that the only week busier than the week leading into the major event is the week coming out of it. He congratulates Cody for winning the Royal Rumble, and he says that despite the fact that his father and brother had a nickname for him, this is Cody talking here. He will call Paul Heyman Mr. Heyman out of respect. He says that he wants to pull back the curtain a little bit. Tell a story about his family. It says in the early 2000s, his family had a bit of hard times and they were broke. He says Heyman called up his dad and offered Dusty a chance in ECW. He says not only did Dusty Rhodes receive money, he also got his confidence back, and Cody can never repay him for it. He says from one disruptor to another, he showed Heyman Heyman showed him the way, and he thanks him for that. Heyman, you can see getting emotional with this here, says, Cody, you got me. Son of a bitch, you got me. You're good. Heyman says, if we're going to peel back the curtain, then let's go all the way. He says that this is not about Dusty Rhodes. This is about Cody Rhodes. He says that he's fought from the bottom all the way to the top, and now he's made him in WrestleMania, which is true, against Roman Reigns. He says Cody has no one prepared for him. He says no one's prepared Cody for the spotlight, and it says that the Performance Center is down the road because they were in Orlando tonight. Says that this is the place where Dusty Rhodes prepared the biggest stars of this generation, including like Becky Lynch, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Bayley. The list goes on. And he says even Roman Reigns. He says Dusty never prepared Cody, and says maybe he wanted to make it on his own and step out of his own shadow, which he eventually did. He says that he can't convey how much he loved Dusty, but he knew that Dusty loved Cody very, very much. He says that in his last conversation with Dusty, Dusty told him that Cody was his favorite son. And this is the line that fucking sold me a ticket. Well, I was already sold on this match to begin with, but a lot of people were sold on this match with this line here. He said that Dusty told him that Cody was his favorite son, but Roman was the son he always wanted. Oh boy. What a fucking zinger right there. It gets better. As Heyman is getting ready to leave, Cody gets into the face of Heyman and says he's just trying to win a wrestling championship. He says that everyone wants to make it personal, and now Heyman has done that. He will pay for it when, and he says Heyman won't pay for it, but Roman will, when he takes the titles from Roman at WrestleMania personally. And it was like, oh my God, chef's kiss. This storyline. People said, oh, people for months, well, not months, up until like maybe a month or so, was like, oh, can't be Cody. They're not, it's not gonna be believable. But if it's not ready, people are gonna boo Cody, and no one was booing Cody during the segment. People are chanting, "You deserve it," chanting Cody. Sure, they changed it for Sami Zayn, but guess what? Cody put him over, and that's how you get Cody on their side. And now it makes you want Cody. They just made you want Cody to beat Roman Reigns even more. They made you believe it, that this is going to happen. This is going to be the main event for WrestleMania, and people just need to get over it. Sami Zayn is not walking into Elimination Chamber and walking away with the championship. either one. The story for Sami Zayn has never been about the championship. That's what a lot of people seem to understand. This storyline with Sami Zayn was never about him winning the title or facing or beating Roman Reigns. The story has always been with Sami Zayn and the Usos with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is the one who said from day one that they're going to turn their backs on you at first notice, and if I was you, I would do it before they do it to you. And that's exactly what happened. That whole thing is to set up the reunion of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And that when Jey Uso turns on Sami, that's going to shift the heat and hatred from Roman to the Usos, which is going to set up the Usos versus not Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the Undisputed Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. And in my opinion, that match should close night one. Listen, I love Rhea Ripley. I love her. She's one of my favorites right now on the roster. Charlotte Flair does not need to be made in another WrestleMania. She's not the hottest story right now. If you're gonna do 2 nights of WrestleMania, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos should main event night 1, and Roman and Cody should be your main event for night 2. There you go. That's how it is. But this segment was incredible. I am looking forward to this match at WrestleMania, and I'm looking forward to it now. Montez Ford wins against Elias. You knew that was going to happen. No one cares about this match because no one cares about Elias. Montez Ford advances to the Money in the Bank, to Elimination Chamber. Because Austin was on commentary, he's gloating all that shit. Rollins comes out and blindsides him and then curb stops him and then walks away the crowd singing the song. So now the fields for both the Elimination Chambers are set, and I will go over the current card as it stands for Elimination Chamber. Because next up, we got our main event. Becky Lynch defeated Bayley with the help of the returning Lita. This match was all right. Not the best match that they could have done, but this is supposed to happen this was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago. But didn't. At one point, Io and Becky's trying to fight off the top of the cage. Dakota gives Bayley one of her crutches. And she's trying to hit Becky with it. Leah's music comes out. She takes out Io. Then she also takes out Dakota. Then she slams Thora very lightly into the face of Bayley, and then Becky Lynch wins with a manhandle slam, and then they brace, and that's how that show goes off the air. That was Raw. Raw was a solid episode. I enjoyed Raw for what it was. The current card now for the Elimination Chamber actually looks fucking beast. For Montreal is in for a hell of a show. So we got the Undisputed Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. We got the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford. The Women's Elimination Chamber match, the winner faces Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Asuka, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Natalya and Carmella. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. And the 2 rumored matches, technically one's not a rumored match because it's guy that set it up tonight. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And the match that I found out earlier today before Raw went on the air, and it made sense that even the show's in Canada, it's going to be Damage CTRL versus Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. And then I believe Fightful did eventually confirm that as well. So that was Monday Night Raw. Fine episode. Sorry I didn't get to do Dynamite or SmackDown. I just haven't been feeling it for the past few days. Not the shows. The shows are good. Just AEW Dynamite was pretty good. SmackDown was all right. But I just wouldn't fill it up to doing an episode tonight. I was like, I'm not feeling that well because like I said, my throat is sore. But I'm like, I'll do it anyways. So yeah. But yeah, if you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, do all that other stuff I told you at the beginning of the episode. I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. This has been your Monday Night Raw review for February the 6th. I will see you back here, hopefully, for Dynamite. Until then, Misfit Nation, we're out.